Hello and swagat hai bachcho. Welcome back to our free important class. Let's just dive right into this, shall we? I am your AI exam expert, presented by Mohammed Nadeem Abbasi, and today we're doing a high-speed, high-intensity revision of a seriously crucial physics topic. We're going to master forces. So, Dhyan se suno, get those notebooks ready, and let's crush these concepts together.
All right, first things first, let's hit a quick concept hook. What exactly is force? Simply put, it's just a push or a pull on an object. That's literally it. Whether you're kicking a football or pulling a heavy door open, you're applying force. Now, what about the SI unit? It's the Newton, represented by a capital N. Ye exam mein zarur aayega, so lock that in your memory right now. Oh, and remember, the strength of a force is always expressed by its magnitude.
So here's our game plan for today. We've got 4 intense rounds. Number 1, the objective round. Number 2, a fact-check true or false round. Number 3, the heavy-lifting conceptual Q&A. And finally, number 4, pro-exam tips to help you secure those extra marks. Section 1, the objective round. Listen carefully, because it's time to test your knowledge with some rapid-fire questions directly from your syllabus. I want you to literally shout out the answers before I reveal them. Tayaro, let's go. First challenge, fill in the blank. Force acting on per unit area is called what? I'll give you a couple of seconds to shout it out. Okay. Boom. The answer is pressure. If you got that right, superb work. Force divided by area gives you pressure, and its SI unit is the Pascal. Definitely memorize this. Next up, we have an MCQ. The force exerted by the Earth to pull an object towards itself is... what do we call this? Take 2 seconds.
All right.
Yes, it is gravity or gravitational force. This is that ultimate non-contact force that anchors absolutely everything downwards. You know, whenever you drop a pen, gravity is the invisible hero pulling it straight to the floor. Excellent work there. Moving on to section 2, fact check. It's time for myth versus fact. Exam setters absolutely love to test your misconceptions here, so pay attention. I'll give you a statement, and you tell me if it's true or false. Statement number 1. True or false, magnetic force is an example of a contact force. Think about it for a second. It is absolutely false. The myth here is that magnets actually have to touch an object to pull it. But the fact? Magnetic force works from a distance. It is a totally non-contact force. Just like gravity, a magnet doesn't need to physically touch the object to exert a pull on it. Okay, let's try another one. True or false? Liquids exert pressure only in the downward direction. What do you think? False again. And guys, this is a very common exam trap, bachcho. The myth is that water only pushes down because of gravity. But the actual fact is that liquids exert pressure in all directions, upwards, downwards, and sideways. That upward push is actually called buoyant force, which is something we'll touch on later. All right, on to section 3, conceptual Q&A. This is all about understanding the why. Let's slow down the pace just a tiny bit. This is where you're going to score the big marks in your short and long answer sections. First up is what I like to call the pressure puzzle. Why is it easier to pierce a balloon with a tiny needle than with your finger? Well, it all comes down to surface area.
A needle tip has a very, very small surface area, so even if you apply just a little bit of force, it creates extremely high pressure. Your finger, on the other hand, has a much larger surface area, which spreads that same force out, resulting in low pressure. That high pressure from the tiny needle tip is exactly what makes the balloon burst. Ye concept apne dimag mein अच्छे से बिठा लो.
Now let's consider the balanced force mystery. Imagine you're holding a really heavy bucket of water, completely still in your hand, just hovering above the ground. Its state of motion is not changing, right? But wait, aren't there forces acting on it? Absolutely. There are actually two forces at play here. Your muscular force is pulling the bucket up, and gravity is pulling it down. Because you're holding it perfectly still, these two forces are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. They literally cancel each other out completely, making the net force zero. And zero net force means zero change in motion.
So let's see how this builds into a more complex, long answer question. Think about the archer's arrow. When an archer shoots an arrow, it travels through the air and then eventually falls to the ground. Let's break down the three distinct forces involved here. Step 1. The initial muscular force of the archer pulling the bow sets the arrow in motion. Step 2. Once it's flying in the air, gravity is constantly pulling that arrow downward. Step 3. Air friction, or air resistance, opposes its forward movement, basically slowing it down. Eventually, gravity and friction win the battle, and the arrow falls. Write that down, and you've got a perfect 3-mark answer right there.
And this brings us to some everyday Desi relatability. Think about pulling a heavy cycle rickshaw uphill. Or maybe you've seen Sonali and Ragini from your textbook cycling through their village against a really strong wind. What do you have to do in those situations? You have to push the pedals or pull much harder. The wind and the rough road create strong opposing forces, like air resistance and friction. So your muscular force has to increase to overcome them. Or think about rubbing a balloon on your dry hair. That's electrostatic force pulling your hair right up. You see, science is literally everywhere around us.
We're at the final stretch. Section 4, Pro Exam Tips. This is how you score those extra marks. These are the last-minute exam hacks that will absolutely guarantee you don't lose any silly marks, so listen closely. The ultimate exam tip is completely understanding the difference between mass and weight. They are not the same. Mass is the amount of matter in an object, and it's measured in kilograms. It is completely constant. It never, ever changes whether you are on Earth, the Moon, or Mars. 1 kilogram is always 1 kilogram. But weight? Weight is the gravitational pull on that mass, and it's measured in newtons. So, an object with a mass of 1 kilogram has a weight of about 10 newtons on Earth, but only 1.6 newtons on the Moon. Why? Because the Moon's gravity is just much weaker. The absolutely crucial point to remember here is this. Mass stays the exact same everywhere, but weight completely changes depending on a planet's gravity. Never confuse the two in your exam.
And with that, we wrap up our high-speed revision explainer. Remember to keep your curiosity alive. But hey, before you go, think about this for a second. If gravity pulls absolutely everything down, why doesn't the moon just fall into the Earth? Ponder that little physics mystery. Valcon, you have totally got this. Trust your preparation. If you found this explainer helpful and it cleared up your concepts, smash that like button right now. Subscribe to the channel for more powerful exam hacks, and most importantly, make sure you download the full revision notes from the description box below so you can revise offline. Partero ho, and I'll see you in the next class.